Alright, my man.
My thoughts is that there is a fucking disgrace.
What is animal abuse?
Yes.
See, everybody tells me that, and then I ask them a couple of questions, and they end up changing their mind. You up for that?
Question.
Right. What's your name, by the way?
My name's John.
My name's Cliff. Pleased to meet you.
Right back at
So, I'm here to make people think. What do you think of animals, first of all? That's the first
I love
question.
animals. Cats and dogs. Don't like rats.
Okay.
Don't particularly like snakes.
Fair enough. I know a lot of people have fear of animals like that, but I love animals too. So tell me what you think of people who abuse animals or animal abuse in general.
Rats. Stinking and disgusting.
Okay. What would you qualify as abuse, or how would you describe abuse?
Either beaten, getting one for what? Getting one for Christmas and forgetting about the fucking thing. Excuse my language.
You're alright.
Forgetting about it and letting it starve. No, it's not fair.
Okay. Here's the fourth question. This is the one where people start to justify it now. And it doesn't come with judgment, because I used to think and do the same. Okay? So I'm not here to...
Your name's Cliff, isn't it?
Cliff, yeah. What about the animals we send in the slaughterhouses and we turn them into food and clothing? What about those animals?
In that their case, there's a reason for it.
Yeah, there's a want for it, but there's not. I don't see there's a justifiable reason when you can just eat and wear something else.
I've actually seen, I've seen the situation that the cows and all go into, and I see them knowing that they're going to dead, which isn't very nice. It's not very
What do you
nice.
think of that? Do you not think that's abuse as well?
Mate, that does horrible, but us humans need to eat.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. Right, and I'm not trying to be a jackass saying this to you. I haven't eaten an animal product since I was 19, right? I'm 56. I'm completely vegan, right? So there's thousands of vegans in the world who don't eat any animal products, they don't wear animal skin, they don't use cosmetics. So if you can survive and thrive like the science says we can on plant-based products, then those cows that you're talking about that you've seen, the fear in their eyes, I'm sure you've seen how terrified they are. Well then, if you can eat something else, then what really is the justification then? As somebody who loves and cares about animals, have you ever thought? I know you do. I'm not saying you don't, but have you ever thought about it that way before?
I haven't, but I do know that the animals get slaughtered for us to eat.
Yeah.
And it's been happening for thousands of years. And I've actually only grew up eating meat. So I actually I still agree with what we're doing. Chickens and turkeys, yes. All animals, yeah. There's more than enough. And they reproduce like us, the same way the Chinese is trying to kill off most of the population because there's too many of us.
Yeah.
And maybe we're trying to kill off too many of them because there's too many.
No, there's not. You see, the farmers are breeding them into existence. That's how it works. The farmers forcibly impregnate the female animals so that they have more, and then we kill them and eat them. Right, but we can just eat plants. We can eat vegan burgers and vegan sausages and oat milk and soy milk, and there's a myriad of stuff that you can eat.
To be honest with you, I don't even think I've ever tried vegan. I don't think I've ever tried.
Would you consider trying something if I suggested something to you? Right, so what's your favourite food? What do you normally eat? Anything?
I do eat anything. I love my Brussels sprouts.
KFC. Do you eat KFC?
Oh, aye. Chicken drumsticks.
Right, so in KFC they do vegan chicken now. They do vegan chicken nuggets. They're the same price. They taste. They're made out of, I think I say they're seitan or corn or tofu. I'm not exactly sure. But you see, when you eat them, man, they taste exactly the same.
Okay.
You can go into Burger King and buy them in plant. That's made from plants. It tastes exactly the same. It's the same price.
In that case, why don't you go and get samples and let people taste them?
I've done it. I've done that as well. But what happens is, we used to do a table of samples. But what happens is people turn up that are hungry and just snaffle everything, and then they're not here. I want to have a conversation with people, because I genuinely believe that you, like me, love animals. I'm not saying you don't.
I do.
But here's the thing. Here's what I realised. I've been to slaughterhouses and farms, and when I buy a product, I am literally paying somebody to do something to an animal that I would never do myself. When I go in and buy that product, somebody's going to bolt gun a cow in the head and hang them upside down and cut their throat. Somebody's going to electrocute a chicken and cut their throat. Or pigs in this country, if you eat pork. Do you know how we dispose of pigs when they go to a slaughterhouse here? I'm going to shock you now. Do you know what we do to them?
Yeah.
We put them in gas chambers.
What, like the Germans and the Jews? I mean, that's thinking.
Yeah, honestly, man. There's one in Cookstown. called Carol Foods. You heard of the Cookstown Sizzle if you're old enough. You remember the bacon factory, as people would have called it, or the pork factory, right? Anyway, Denny's and Cookstown Sizzle and all that stuff. Yeah. Right. I don't know what age you are, man, but
all I remember is Stewart's and Little's and
yeah. Right. So, and there's one in Ballymena called Cranswick Country Foods. They both have gas chambers. The pigs arrive in trucks at 6 months old. They stand in line. They put them in a cage and they drop them into a carbon dioxide gas chamber, man. They suffocate to death. Well, they're not actually dead when they come out the bottom. They go unconscious, then they roll out the bottom, shackle around the leg. They're coming conscious again at this point, and somebody sticks a knife in their throat and pulls it across their throat, and they bleed out. That's fucking terrible. You know that's terrible. Yeah. Would you do that to an animal yourself?
I wouldn't do it, but now don't get me wrong enough, and I've actually watched Alone and Afraid, and it's survival.
That's different.
Yeah, no, but see the people that can't do it.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a lot more people that can't do it than what there is that can't do it.
I know that exactly. The survival thing, we're not in a survival situation. If you were in a survival situation and you had to eat an animal to survive, well, who am I to tell you not to? You want to survive, right? Yeah. But nobody in this city here today is in that situation. Like I say, you can go to McDonald's or Tesco's or Nero or Starbucks or Bob and Burt's do a vegan option, or Little Wing. They all do vegan options now. Yeah, that's knowledge. All that is knowledge. You know where you get the vegan products. Even old donuts over there do amazing vegan donuts. They do like 5 or 6 different ones. Bet you didn't know that before. So if you have all those options available, then what's the justification for throwing a pig into a gas chamber?
Because
I'm making you think a wee bit.
You are making me think, but meat has always been in my life.
I know. Me too. And that's why you do it, because I think if children seeing what we do to animals at a young age, it's hidden away from you. So you grow up and you're taught by your parents and by your teachers and by society.
Sausages,
exactly. It's an arbitrary line. Love dogs and cats, like you said earlier. Yep. If somebody shoots Harambe, you're supposed to get upset. If somebody shoots a lion, you're supposed to get upset.
Oh, right. No, here, mate. See the poachers and all.
Poachers, you're supposed to get upset, of course. Bullfighting's bad. Dog fighting's bad. Eating dogs is bad, even though loads of countries in the world do eat dogs because they're not companion animals. Well, it's some Asian countries, because they're taught a different story to you. They're taught the dogs are food animals. We're taught the pigs are food animals. So it's just the culture that you're brought up in. What's really weird to us that people eat dogs, but they probably think us eating pigs is bloody weird.
I don't think I'd eat a dog. I don't know why.
But if you were brought up from you were a child eating dogs, you'd be completely normalised to it.
Right.
Get it?
I do get it.
Yeah.
But I watch what is it? Sport kids going to foreign countries. No, sport lazy kids going to try and change ways how to help their mum instead of getting mum lifting the limb, and they go out to very foreign isolated countries and they see the women actually not giving a fuck about cutting a chicken's head off.
I know, man, but those people are. I mean, if you go to a tribe or something, and something like I said, if they're in a survival situation, that's different. We're not. I can't justify me killing a chicken because of some person in deepest, darkest Africa in a tribe that has to survive. That's not the same. It's not the same thing.
Things out the spikes. What do you call them?
What's that?
The things that inject. Spits out spikes at you when you're trying to are the skunks or something?
Oh, I'm not too sure, man. Scorpions or something, I'm thinking.
No.
I know but some animals will attack you, yeah. And if you have to defend yourself against an animal,
but
if you have to defend yourself against an animal that's attacking you, that's not the same thing. You know as well as I do, man. Cows are very gentle animals.
Oh, what?
Pigs are super intelligent and very gentle animals. Sheep are the sheep are the. What do you say?
I like the big bunny pigs.
Yeah, they're lovely, man. Ones. Man, they're so smart and intelligent, and like I told you,
and their teeth are fucking wow.
Yeah.
Straight through your body will turn up or happen. It's so easy.
I know, but here, when I tell you this about them, so I've been to the slaughterhouse in Ballymena, and see when they arrive, because they're so smart, pigs figure it out. See when they hear the screaming inside, man, they are freaking terrified. Terrified. Like even that's bad. Terrifying an animal. To me, that's like mental abuse. Terrifying an animal like that. And it's about half an hour before they go into the gas chamber.
I seen something on. Wait a minute, I'm sorry.
You're alright. Take your time. What was that about?
A cow, mate. Locked in a wee box about this here says. No room for it to turn his head or nothing.
Was that a pig or what was it? A bear maybe?
No, I'm near enough sure it was a cow. I'm near enough sure.
Oh yeah, right.
Because that cow seriously wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
before it was
So
in.
let me tell you why they do that.
It knows.
That's a dairy bull calf. So you know the black and white cows we have in this country that produce milk to Friesians? Have you ever thought that they're all girls?
No, just a second.
What is an interview for?
That's all right, man. They're all girls. Every single one in the field. Where's all the boy calves?
They're booking over girls.
No. So dairy boy bull calves don't produce milk and they don't produce good meat. So they're a waste product. So most farmers will kill them on the day they're born. Thousands and thousands of them are set in the ground, shot in the head, or hit over the head with a spade or a shovel. Some are sold into the veal industry, which is what you saw. And they're put in a small crate in darkness with a chain around their neck for like 18 weeks. Have you ever heard of veal? It's like a delicacy in some restaurants. It's like a white meat. The reason they keep them confined in darkness is so they don't produce red blood cells and their muscles don't develop, so it's a real tender meat. And at 16 weeks old, man, they take them out of that pen that you seen them in, and somebody sticks a knife in their throat. At 16 weeks old, like that's fucking shocking. Like, who would ever think of doing such a thing? Yeah, people sit in restaurants and buy that product as if it's just completely normal, and it's one of the most cruel things on earth, you know?
See even the fish market. Mate, I think that's horrible too.
Of course you do. Man, do you know why you think it's horrible? Because you have that and they're the same as me, and I love animals the same way you love animals. You've just been taught that all that stuff we need it to, it's normal and necessary. That's what you think, and it's neither of those two things. It's not necessary and it's completely not normal. It's fucked up doing that shit to animals, in my opinion, and I would say you agree with me. You do agree with me. You're struggling with it, but you agree with me. I know you do.
I do, yeah. Now see, mashed potatoes, they're ground material. Sweet potato crisps, they're ground. All the vegetables are ground material, and I love all them. But I also love my meat.
Yeah, but man, just buy vegan burgers instead. You can go into Tesco's and you go to a vegan section.
Yeah, but
they taste exactly the same.
Yeah, but see the way it's called vegan.
Yeah.
The word vegan practically scares me.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, don't let it scare you. Just try one. Don't even think of it. I don't even... Call me a vegan or don't call me a vegan. I do not care. I'm a person who loves animals and doesn't want animals to suffer when I can just eat or wear something else. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, but what's going to be the 5% of people that turns the vegan and about the fucking...
Well...
Wait a minute. The 5,900,000
I know, man.
million...
Here's the thing, right?
You know
Let me
what I mean?
cover that two ways and then I'm going to give you a card because I need to go. Right, so, number one, okay, a lot of other people are doing it. Most other people are doing it. But if you think something's wrong, you don't have to do it. You can remove yourself from that, and you can go to bed at night and think, today I didn't pay for any animals to suffer, and I vegan products, and I buy plant-based or vegan clothing, and no animals suffer on my behalf. And that might sound like an ego thing, but why would?
What the fuck's vegan clothing?
Well, look, what do you think those shoes are made of? Yours are probably made of leather, mine aren't, but look, see the sole?
I haven't got a clue, mate.
They're vegan shoes, so you just buy an alternative. All you do is, I'm going to give you a card where you can...
I bought these at a flea market.
I know, well, maybe they're not leather, but it's not skin. It's not animal skin, and it's not fur, and it's not wool. That's it. And number two, there was a scientific study done, I think it was in Denmark or Sweden, and they said to make real change in the world, you need about 17% of people on your side.
Yeah, but that's why we said 5.
Right. Okay, well, we're not at 5% at the minute, but we're gradually, there's more and more vegans. You must hear the word vegan a lot now. 5 years ago, you probably never even heard it. So we can get to 17%. Then people begin to question more. Why am I doing this? Why am I paying for animals to suffer and be hurt and be harmed when I don't need to? The other people, and then you get more people on board. That's the way it works. It's exponential change. One person tells another, tells another.
I don't know. I've got a really strong point to say here, right?
Right, go.
The world can't really cope with as much people as what there is.
I agree.
And then now we're going to have loads of animals if we don't eat them.
No, right. So I agree with you. There's too many people in the world.
And then if we don't.
But here's the thing.
There's going to be too many animals now.
No. I'll kill this point for you, and then I'll give you a card, and then we'll wind her up. So Farmers are breeding animals into existence
Right, so we can eat
for supply and demand, right? So as more and more people go vegan, the farmers will bring less and less animals into existence. So there won't be millions of animals running around because they'll simply be less forcibly impregnated
the
and
farmers
born.
it's all money grabbing for
I know,
everything.
but they can do something else, man. Farmers, I don't hate farmers, by the way.
Look at that. Never put potatoes.
But farmers can do arable farming, or they can turn their land into something else, or they can put housing on it, or they can grow crops, or there's. How many jobs have you had in your lifetime?
Fuck.
How many, roughly? Give me a.
About 12.
There you go. Me too. So, do you think farmers have to do the same thing their whole life, or could they change as well and do something else?
Maybe it's been drilled in from their
I know.
dad and grandads.
Of course it has, but they can always do something else. And I know some farmers who have changed and went away from farming animals and now do arable farming
just
instead.
on the computer.
But they can do arable farming, and they have loads of ground that they can do other things with. Plants, crops.
No, here you should have said crops the first thing.
Yeah. Well, we can all do something else. I'm going to give you a card, buddy, and then I'm going to give you something to watch here if you don't mind. 2 or 3 resources on there on Netflix. Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy. So they're going to show you the damage that animal farming is doing to the planet. Game Changers about sport and health and nutrition and how healthy it is to eat a plant-based diet.
Wait, no, I won't do. I will. I
want you to watch this one here. This is the
best
one.
speech you will ever hear, Gary.
There's my YouTube there. That's my YouTube. I put an abridged or a shortened version of that speech on my YouTube. It's about half an hour long, man. Watch that sometime. You get a chance. It's free to view.
I want to say something.
Yeah, go for it.
I said I am an animal lover of all kinds. My wee sister and wee brother got a goldfish.
Yeah.
And my wee sister is 8 years younger than me. My brother is 9 years younger than me. They both broke our heart when the wee goldfish was floating dead. So I done the right thing. Picked the goldfish out, put it into a matchbox, made 2 matches into a cross, and went and buried it in the back garden. Plus, had a wee prayer for it. Even though in my head I was laughing at my wee brother and my wee sister was crying their wee heart out, but I actually done something very nice for them to see.
Man, you're a good man. That story is actually touching me because, see, when I was a wee bit younger, man, I had a cat. I was 22 years old. I held her on the day she was born and the day she died. See, if she died, man, I didn't eat for 5 days. I'm nearly crying talking about it, man. That's years ago. I loved her with all my heart. And I just see her the same as I go to the markets and the farms and the slaughterhouses, and they've all their own individual personalities. Even that wee goldfish would have had its own wee tiny brain and wee personality, you know.
And I was always shouting out in the water, Bob, Bob, Bob.
Man, thank you for stopping. What's your name again?
I'm John Tim. Cliff.
Yes, Cliff. And check that speech out. Promise me you'll watch that speech and go and try the vegan chicken nuggets around in KFC sometime you're going past.
They see.
Even they have a vegan fry up in there with vegan sausages and stuff.
Well,
it's
see,
great,
this
man.
one I'm telling. I've got £1.50 for 2 tins of boost, and then I get paid later on at 12 o'clock. So maybe tomorrow.
Or Greg's do a vegan sausage roll. It's like a quid.
Now I've always seen Neighbour Greg's, but I'm always going for the steak bake or the chicken bake or sausage roll.
And they do vegan ones of all those things. Try one out, man.
I said, Cliff, I will. And if I like it, I hope to see you again.
All right, man. Have a good day.